Good evening. Conrad Black promised a surprise ending, and today he delivered. At this hour, he is back in the lap of luxury. His life behind bars over for now. Like his fall from grace, Black's return to civilian life was filled with drama, from his furtive exit out the back door of a federal prison to this triumphant return through the gates of his oceanfront mansion in Palm Beach. Here he is, the first public glimpse of the 65-year-old former media tycoon as he arrived home. Black, still in his prison-issued white T-shirt, ignored the gauntlet of media swarming his SUV. Let's get right to CTV's Paul Workman near that Florida estate. Paul, tell us about today and what must have been for Conrad Black the moment he has been dreaming of for years.
Well, he was obviously watching the proceedings in Chicago as we were to see what the bail conditions were going to be. And once that had happened, they were transmitted to the prison officials in Coleman, Florida, where he's been for the last couple of years, and they started the process of his release. They really didn't give us very much help through the day. They kept saying, we just don't know, we just don't know. And sometime early in the afternoon, a black limousine drove into the entrance of the prison. We figured, oh, okay, it's finally come to take Conrad Black home. Is Barbara Emile, his wife, inside? Again, there was no information from the prison at all. And then sort of about an hour later, Conrad Black was suddenly gone. Unheard, unseen, unannounced. I called the prison, finally got an official who, yes, it confirmed that, in fact, he had been released. He was no longer in their custody. So this rich and powerful media baron was able to give the media the slip with a little help from prison officials, of course. And then some hours later, the same limousine pulled into the driveway of Conrad Black's spectacular mansion here, and there he was in the back seat wearing a white T-shirt and a pair of white jogging pants, looking very relaxed and obviously very happy to be home. So after more than 2 years in this little prison cell, probably with a stainless steel sink and a stainless steel toilet, here he was back in this amazing, amazing mansion that he once used to own, living the kind of life that he enjoyed so much before.
But for how long? Paul Workman in Florida tonight. While Conrad Black is out of jail, he's not quite home free. His next stop is Chicago to face the judge who first convicted him, then let him go. With more on the costs and conditions of Conrad Black's release, CTV's Richard Madden reports now from Chicago.
His lawyer was all smiles leaving the federal courthouse.
I am happy getting out.
Out after more than 2 years at this Florida prison, Conrad Black now released on a $2 million bail, secured by his old friend, newspaper baron and philanthropist Roger Hertog. He's now on the hook should Lord Black ever violate his bail.
Girl, are you comfortable putting up the money?
Goodbye.
Black won bail after challenging a separate court decision that changed the definition of fraud, one of the 2 charges Black was convicted for. But with bail, the judge set conditions. Black can't travel outside the United States, he can't carry weapons, and the judge will review his finances for any changes in net worth. Legal experts say it's unlikely Black will ever see another day in prison.
Because you figure he's already done 2.5 years. When they come around to retry on him, if they do, there might not be too much left of this case.
Black's attorney now hopes to lift that travel ban and return Black to his luxury home in Toronto. Black will have the chance to make his case personally before the judge. He returns to Chicago for a special hearing at noon on Friday.
Next step is for him to appear in court on Friday.
Are you disappointed they wouldn't let him go to Toronto?
I am very pleased he's getting out.
He may be out, but it turns out Conrad Black doesn't have a nation to call home just yet. His Canadian citizenship gone after being named to the House of Lords, and court proceedings reveal his British passport has expired, which means his push to travel anywhere outside these borders may be a bit difficult. Lisa.
All right, Richard, that may not be the only difficulty. Prisoner number 18330-424 resumes his identity as a peer of the British House of Lords. But what will that life look like? Joining us is Paul Waldy from the Globe and Mail, also in Chicago tonight. Paul, is it conceivable that Conrad Black can remake the life he once knew, or, as his lawyer said today, is he broke?
I think it'd be very, very difficult for him to remake the life he once had. Look, he had no assets that he could pledge today for his bail. He needed his friend to come and put up $2 million. His companies are basically long gone into bankruptcy, and he still has a mountain of litigation to face even once his criminal case is done. So it's going to be very hard for Conrad Black to reinvent himself.
Now, there was always a very interesting dynamic between Conrad Black and Judge Amy St. Eve. Now she's ordered him back to the very same courtroom. What are you expecting on Friday?
Well, I think that's going to be really fascinating to see the expression on his face. Keep in mind, this is the very courtroom where he was indicted, where he was convicted, where he was sentenced, and it's the same building where the appeal court is housed that has rejected his appeals twice before. So you got to figure he's going to have a bit of a wry smile on his face when he walks in there under the presumption that some of those convictions could well be overturned.
And again, facing for the first time when the prosecution who put him in jail.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many of the prosecution team left still on this case, but one of them, Julie Porter, will be there, and it'll be interesting to see what he has to say to her, how he looks at her as well.
Okay, we won't rule out any more surprises. Paul Waldy in Chicago, thanks for this tonight.
All right, Lisa, good night.